In this video, we are going to talk about for and while loop in the C. So let's start our video. Before diving into the video, let's see the topics that we will be covering. So first, we'll discuss that why do we need loops. Then we'll discuss mainly two types of loops, which are for and while loop. And then we'll have some coding examples in the IE to have a better understanding. So let's start our video and stay tuned with me. You may ask question here that why do we need loops in C programming? So to understand this question, consider a scenario here that suppose you came across a situation where you want to print all the natural numbers up to 9. Then a person who is not having the knowledge of loops, then how he will write code. Okay, so let's see that how you will be writing code if you have no knowledge about loops. So this is the kind of code, tedious looking code that you will be writing if you have no knowledge about loops. Okay, so this is a hard working code. Okay, so suppose definitely you are not going to write these kind of codes to write a simple natural numbers up to 9. Okay, so but you can think a situation where you want to print up to 1000, 1 lakh natural numbers. Then how you are going to tackle this situation? Definitely you're not going to write printf statements again and again up to 1000 and 1 lakh times up to which you want to print. So how to tackle these kind of scenarios in the C programming and also to make the life of the programmer easier, we have some concept in the C programming which are called loops here. Okay, so that's why we need loops in the C programming to make our work easier from tedious. Okay, so with the loops we can just repeat the same process as the name suggests here. You can think that loops means doing the same thing again and again or moving into the loops. So let's see the syntax of the while loop here. So syntax is quite simple. You just need to write the while and the condition here, and inside the parenthesis you can write all the statements as much as you can. Okay, there is no boundation on the statements. Okay, so how it executes? So the compiler will come here, it will go through this line and it will come onto the condition. So it will check the condition. If it finds that condition is correct, then the statements, all the statements inside the curly braces will be executed. Okay, and again it will come to the same starting point. Again it will check the condition. Again it will execute the same statements. Then again it will go on to the top of the position or the starting point, and again it will check the condition. And if it found true, then again it will execute the same statements. Then the question arises that when this loop will be exited. Okay, so to exit the loop, the condition needs to be false. Okay, so if some point of time the condition becomes false, then it will execute the loop and it will stop executing the same kind of statements again and again. Okay, so it will first just check the condition. If condition is true, then it will execute, otherwise it will exit the loop. So this is the basic syntax of the while loop. Now we'll move on to the IE and we'll see that how we can print the natural number up to n or even up to 100 without writing the printf statements up to 100 lines. Okay, so let's move, say int I equals to 0, and now we will be using the while loop. Okay, so as we have discussed that the syntax is something like this. Here you need to write the condition. So what is the condition? I'm going to put that check if I is less than 10. Okay, so this is my condition. So just write the condition. I have completed the condition here, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the statements that I want to execute. And definitely my statement is nothing but to print the numbers. Okay, so I will just write %d, and for your convenience I will write okay, there's no need of new line character here, so I will just do here I. Okay, and then this, and I will increment the value as I plus plus. So what does I plus plus does? So I plus plus does nothing but it will just change the value of I from I to I plus 1. Okay, so this is called the increment. So this is the condition here, and this is the statement here, and this is some increment and decrement that we have given, such that loop does not move on to the infinite. Okay, so we don't want the loop to run up to the infinite times. So to avoid this, we have condition also, and we have some increment and decrement statements here also. So now let's just save the code here, and we'll have a new terminal here. Okay, new terminal, and just will write gcc tudes20.c. so it has compiled successfully. Now I will just run by a.exe. okay, so just wait here, it will automatically print. Okay, see here that we have printed the all natural numbers up to 9 without writing a tedious code here. So this is the while loop syntax, and this is how you can use the while loop. Okay, so make sure that you have understood it completely. So we have just while loop, then condition here, and then statements that we need to be executed, and then I++. We are doing this just to make sure that this loop does not go for infinite times. Okay, so this is how the while loop works. Now we'll go on to the presentation here, syntax of the for loop here. Okay, so now the for loop, you can see here the syntax is quite lengthy. Syntax is looking some kind of tedious, but believe me, it is somewhat easier than the while loop. Okay, so you just need to start by writing the for here, and then initialization. That means we have done in the previous code of the while loop as int I equals to 0. So you can do int I equals to 0 here also. That is called the initialization. And you can write condition here, which we have written as I less than 10. You can write here, and you can do increment and decrement as we have written in the previous code of while loop. We have written some I++. So you can write in the same parenthesis and in the same line here, and finally you can write these statements that you need to execute in the curly braces. So this is the simple syntax for the for loop. I hope now we'll be using the for loop for this purpose. Okay, so as we have discussed that we will write for, and we'll initialize here only. So I will write here in I equals to 0. So I have initialized. Now I am going to write the condition. My condition is as usual 1 is less than 10. Okay, and then I will give some increment and decrement here, which is I++. So you can see that there is no need to need of this line, extra line. Okay, so we have completed our code even a smaller number of lines or lesser number of lines in the case of while loop. So I will write the statement here that look, just what I need to do, I need to printf what I value of I. Okay, so this is the simplest code for printing the natural numbers up to 9. So we will have new terminal here, and we'll just do gcc tudes20.c. We find that we have end up with the same result as in the case of while loop. So if you will discuss that how compiler come and execute all these statements. So as we have discussed the syntaxes that are involved in the for loop, you just need to write these things. Okay, so when compiler come here, it will come here, it will see that one variable has been initialized whose name is I equals to 0. So here we have initialized the variable I equals to 0, and here we have condition, and here increment and decrement, and here statement is there. So how this code is executed? So code will come here, it will initialize the I equals to 0 variable, then it will check the condition, then it will print this statement, and then again it will go back and it will increment the value by 1. That means it will execute the I++. So the point that needs to be noticed here, that after initialization it will come to the condition part, then it will execute the statement, then it will go and execute the increment part. Okay, then after executing the increment part, it will come again to the condition part, and it will check that if I is less than 10 or not, and if it has found to be true, then again it will come to the statement, it will execute the statement, and again it will increment the value by 1. So say initially the value of int I is 0. Okay, then it will check this condition, that check whether I is less than 10. So 0 is less than 10, which is correct. Then this condition is correct, then it will execute this statement, so it will print 0. Now it will increment the value of I by 1. So now by incrementing the value of I by 1, the value of I has become 1. Okay, now it will come again to this condition. It will check that whether the value of I is less than 10. So again it is correct. Then again it will come to this statement, it will execute this statement, and after this it will again go back to the increment part, and again it will increment the value of I by 1, and again it will check the condition. So first condition, then statement, and then increment. Again condition, statement, increment, condition, statement, increment. So it will go up to the point until this condition holds true. If this condition becomes false, then it will automatically exit the for loop. So this is how for loop is used. Okay.